Hi everyone, it's meteorologist Joe Chaffee for SNS Storm Chasers, and we are watching some heavy downpours and some thunderstorms that are developing across western Pennsylvania, the western half of Pennsylvania, western New York, and you can see there's kind of a bit of an arc that comes down into northern Virginia. This is all part of an upper air disturbance that's swinging eastward, and that's going to be our main player today. The Storm Prediction Center has a small risk of a marginal risk, a very low, which is very low, but not completely non-existent, across southernmost Pennsylvania into parts of Maryland and eastern Virginia. I think the main threat from all of this today is going to be some heavy rains, and in some places it's going to be beneficial rains because of the drought conditions. We're going to take a look at the brand new NAM model, and we can follow it along, and you can see what it does here. And by 2 o'clock this afternoon, it has a pretty large area of rain and thunderstorms indicated. This is what it picks out as the radar echoes, so it's pretty extensive, and then it runs up eastward into the evening hours across much of the northern half of Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, into western Long Island and parts of southern New England and southeastern New York State, and extends down into southeast Pennsylvania and into Maryland, and then we just kind of move it along as we go through the overnight. Still actually has some decent downpours going on across much of New Jersey, the Hudson Valley, and northeastern Pennsylvania and southern New England tomorrow, Sunday morning at 8 a.m. So this is all part of this upper air disturbance that's going through that we're going to have to deal with. And that's the primary player today, and for the weekend. And even into early next week, there's still some weak disturbances in the flow that they'll probably open the door for some heavy downpours. So this is good news actually for a lot of areas that picked up a decent amount of rain the other day, and of 1 to 2 inches, and is now starting to chip away at the rainfall deficit with the very dry conditions that we've had over the last couple of months. I want to just shift attention a little bit to the tropics, because we do have some things going on there, and I want you to take a look here on the satellite, because this is a very good illustration here on the loop of what goes on in the tropics. You have this strong tropical wave that's been moving very rapidly westward across the tropical Atlantic the last few days, beginning to approach the Leeward Islands. And you see there's a little bit of curvature here. It's a fairly decent looking wave, but it's moving at a very fast clip, which kind of prevents development to some degree. But back through here, you can see there's this upper low right across the Bahamas and in through western Cuba and the Dominican Republic, and you can see how it pulls the clouds up from south to north. So this is actually going to be running into a shear environment over the next day or two. But eventually, if this upper low retreats to the west or dissipates, more than likely it'll just retreat westward. Once this system gets into the Western Caribbean later this week, there's a possibility that we could see some development. Conditions there will be much more favorable. And it's a little hard to see because it's on the edge of the picture, but right behind it is a strong tropical wave that's south of the Cape Verde Islands and is moving rather slowly. It looked halfway decent on the satellite yesterday. Now it looks a little less organized. It's hard to see because it comes off the screen there. But the National Hurricane Center is giving both these systems a 40% shot of developing over the next 5 days. So that pretty much wraps it up for today. Have a great weekend, and just watch out for those heavy downpours. Would not be surprised to see some localized flash flooding developing in some spots if you happen to be unlucky enough to get caught underneath one of the heavier ones, and then it winds up sitting there for a while. So enjoy your weekend, and we'll keep you updated. SNSStormchasers.com and at meteorologistjoechaffee.com.